Okay, Sam, here we go, part two. They're kind of in the middle of page, what is this? Page 5. When you say ask almost with no expression, you need a comma there. And then your question needs a capital letter A and R. And also, the same rules in the next part is given as a simple comma, and then a capital letter to, of course, I know same person isn't, because the thing that's in quotation marks is like its own sentence, basically. So we generally put a capital letter at the beginning of our quotes unless the quote flows directly into the sentence. Which, I mean, your one, the answer is given as a simple, almost does that, but yeah, not quite. If it flowed right into the sentence, it would be something like, I don't want to give an example because I can't think of one. Okay, let's just go on. In 2018, 64 firefighters were killed in these different ways. Okay, right. Incarcerated, electrocuted. Okay. Some were, maybe you could do it this way. Some were incinerated, some were electrocuted, some drowned, some were run over, and others succumbed to smoke. I think that might be the smoothest way to do that. The danger is there, but as Cal would put it, comma, capital I. It takes a small, special kind of stupid to do this job. It also takes someone who cares more about people than themselves. As I spend the next few hours tending to the relatively minor burns on my backside, I realize the realization that everyone I have come to work, fight, and bond with has always shared the same goal, that goal of helping people when everything is going up in flames, literally. No more than 2 days later, I get broken up with the McLean's Market. So many stories, Sam. Oh my God. After stumbling to my car, heartbroken and ugly, crying while parked in front of the rec center, little fixes there, I get told that a red flag warning has been issued and the imminence of a wildfire has been elevated. Oh yeah, I remember. As I speed down Mississippi playing Aaron Watson's Am I Amarillo, I wish I knew that song, I begin to wonder why I'm even going to the firehouse. My biggest supporter had decided to part ways with me, and why should I care about someone's stupid farm? As I dump my emotional trauma onto my friend Damien and wonder how to rebound from a broken heart, we receive a call to what would later be a series of wildfires that would consume nearly 1,000 acres of land. Racing to the fire seemed surreal as I wonder, we need a comment there, why am I doing this? No sane human being would purposely put themselves in harm's way to save life, land, and property. I feel like by repeating what you said before about how only a crazy person would do this, you're kind of taking away the drama of that thought. I would either not say it before or not say it here to give it more like power. As the fire rages on, I concentrate my raw emotions, determination to not let the fire consume my friends and me. Oh, that's a fragment, I think. As the fire rages on and I concentrated my raw emotions, yeah, that's a fragment. You didn't finish your thought there. As the fire rages on, you concentrate, what happens? I start to realize that this job is thankless, but there is a special satisfaction in from doing good. I agree. 83% of firefighters say that they join to get an adrenaline rush. Whoa. However, what truly lies at the reason is that the servant's heart is at the center of every firefighter. Okay, I mean, maybe. I appreciate that's your take on it. And I also would like to think that. As my officer Chris put it, as I asked him the question I asked myself, the pay sucks, the hours are long, and I probably won't see my grandchildren be born, but someone has to stand up for others and risk their neck for children. Strangers, and being that person has turned me into a better person. Awesome! As I lay back in my bunk that night, with my heart and mind light years apart from the other. As you lay in your bunk, with your head and your mind light years apart from each other, I don't know what that means. Sometimes I feel like I recognize this because I'm super guilty of this myself. Sometimes as a writer, I come up with what I think is an amazing way to say something, and then someone comes to me and is like, yeah, but what does that mean? And I'm like, stop bothering me about what things mean. Doesn't it sound awesome? So that's kind of how I feel about that sentence. I feel solace knowing that although there may be times when I feel insignificant and important, resemble a wallflower, we need a comma there. While there may be times, comma, I have willingly done this, to finish your thought, not for my own betterment, but for the betterment of others. I know that the question I asked when not the fluffy and deep cutting probes. I don't know what that means. I know that the questions I asked were not the fluffy and deep cutting probes that my colleagues had asked. I'm sure you'll fix that. However, I feel content asking the question to the individuals in a profession where spoken word and experience has proved more effective than words and research. I totally get that. Where charms and superstition replace logical thinking and common social etiquette, and where we all race to help when life seems to go up in flames. Bam! Mic drop. Okay, so for your references, I feel like you've just kind of, well, okay, no, in 3. Okay, you do have authors and some titles and some info, but you have to go back to look at a page about how to do MLA style or how to do APA style. I don't think for either one of those you use numbers. And for the conversations you had with your fellow firefighters, there's a way you can look up to do personal interview to show how you cite a personal interview that you conducted, which you conducted 2 of. I mean, maybe you don't feel like they were interviews because they're not formal enough, but that doesn't matter at all. Okay, so looking at the whole thing, as I've said, it's just really a lot of fun to read your writing. And you have a lot of talent as a writer for sure. I wonder if you've read Tim O'Brien, The Things They Carried, because kind of reminds me of his work, and also he's a veteran. The Things They Carried, and his work is great. But for the purposes of this assignment, I would say I think it could be cool to make it a little more clear, connecting your primary research. That is, you would connect your primary research, all the stuff about the Knights of Malta that I thought was fascinating. If you connect it to, at the firehouse, there is this thing. It looks like this. For the purposes of this assignment, which you're really supposed to be emphasizing your primary research, that would make that also primary research. But, that's a relatively small thing. Again, I feel like you have a lot of talent, and the main thing that you need to do is go back through and be a little slower and more deliberate when you revise and try to catch some things that aren't quite working. Now I have to look up what Lucas is. A grasshopper dipped in Lucas? Okay, thanks a lot for your paper. It was a lot of fun to read. And thank you so much for your service in firefighting as well.